Organization can be a job in itself because there is so much changing all the time. Every time you do a project, you are taking tools and parts and pieces out and using them and putting some of them back. So that cycle has to be completed every time, or you end up with a bunch of crap laying around all the time. The way that I initially dealt with the challenge of organizing the shop was to use fishing tackle boxes. These are the Plano 3600 tackle box bins, and this is typical of what I did. This was for a particular project, so these go all together, and it allows you to put a bunch of different size things in there, but it's difficult to label them. If you flop it around and you have small parts in there, they will mix with each other sometimes. And you have to open the lid, which honestly, when you have 100 of these things, is really annoying and takes a lot of time. There was a point where I had several hundred of them basically jammed in those cheap Craftsman cabinets. They were not labeled, they were fairly random, and I just kind of memorized where each one was so I could go find it later. Even though things were organized by category, I still couldn't find things. It took too long to get them. They were not accessible enough. The solution to that problem that I found was using an open top bin system that we're going to show you in the Vidmar cabinets that gives you the ability to organize everything individually in a bin. You can label it, you can access it from the top with your hands without having to open anything. In the evolution of this, we've gone to the Vidmar cabinets, which are Lista style. They're all the same dimensions, I believe. And these cabinets are rated for 400 pounds per drawer. So you can put as much steel as you can physically fit in there and it will still support it. The neat thing about the Schaller bins is they're modular, so you can choose whatever size you want. They have dozens of different sizes and colors and depths that you can choose from, and you just fit them into whatever space you have. So you don't need a special cabinet for these. You don't need a certain size of anything. They're designed to be able to fit into whatever you have available and adapt to whatever kind of inventory, hardware, and tools that you work with. The biggest improvement that change has made is lowering the time it takes to access things that you need. I know exactly where it's going to be. I can go and get it easily with one hand without much effort and walk away and go do my project. So the bin system, basically it's a modular, portable, fairly inexpensive, customizable investment. If you buy a bunch of these and you really implement the system, you're going to be able to use it for 40 plus years. The beauty of it is once it's set up, it's there ready for you. It's easy to maintain. It's going to bring you peace and joy every day when you use it. It literally brightens my day when I walk over to the drawers of drills that I know the size I need is in, grab one and walk away. It saves that situation of needing a drill and knowing you have the size, but walking up to your drawer and spending 20 minutes to find it. It drains all the energy out of you. You break your mental thought process of what you were thinking about that you were doing on the machine. It disrupts your whole workflow. Once you get into it, it can be a therapeutic thing. If we have slow time, there's not a lot to do in the shop, I can just listen to a podcast, organize stuff for 6 hours straight. It feels good, it feels productive, you're getting everything put away and re-registered where it's supposed to be. You can do 15 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, whatever it is. You can clean up after you're done with the project, project-based, however you want to do it. It's really best to think of it as an investment. Pick something that you think is going to make a difference in your shop, and if you do that thousands of times over the years, you're going to notice a huge improvement in your workflow and your mood and your energy and the quality of your work. It's going to lower your stress, it's going to make your productivity faster, it makes the whole experience better. And then there are other aspects too, as far as taking care of yourself. You don't want to have to dodge a bunch of crap in the way to get to a place you need to get. Going around clutter and having to carefully step over cords and trip hazards all over the place. You don't want to have to reach too far to get things. that effort of like getting something a little bit too heavy off of a high shelf above your head takes a lot of energy. If you have to do that a dozen times a day, that thing that you're reaching for should be in a better accessible location. Do you want to eliminate everything that is annoying? Get rid of everything that is annoying to you. It's in your way, it's too hard to get, it's too hard to do, and it drains energy. That's what you're trying to avoid. So I ordered these so long ago that I printed out my order sheet and wrote in the item line what drawer and what hardware these were for, so that I would remember, because there's no way that I would remember what my plan was. So I recommend doing that so that when you get the order and you open the box, you don't have just random bins, you can actually put them away where you had designed them to be. So this is how they come. It's literally a box of plastic bins. They're a very simple design. They're injection molded polystyrene, I think, but don't quote me on that. It's a nice rounded edge. It's a decent thickness. The inside on the bottoms and the corners are rounded, so you don't get things stuck in there. They're easier to get out with your fingers. And they do have a drawer builder software on the website that is pretty good for deciding how many bins of what size you want to be in each drawer. And you can design a custom layout super easy without any experience. So this box is about 500 bins. You can order as many as you want, and you pick and choose the sizes and they'll ship you whatever you want. They do have sample sets also. What we did is we ordered all of the sample sets so we could have them in stock as a separate kit. So whenever I want to organize a new space, I have one at least of all the sizes in stock, and I can test fit it where I want it to go and see how I like it. And then I'll go online and order. So we have several drawers here that are missing pieces or missing bins. It's either because I didn't order enough initially, or I changed my mind about what I wanted where, or I stole them to go in another place, which sometimes happens as we move stuff around. We have so many of each type of thing that it's pretty common that I can fill an entire drawer with one size of bin. But if you have things that are different size and they go together, you could lay out a drawer of different sizes and lengths. We have different levels of hardware in each drawer. So you might go from small hardware in a top drawer to large hardware in a bottom drawer. And you might taper the sizes down as you go. So you might start with the 2x3s in the top drawer, and you go to the 2x5s, 2x4s, or 2x6s in the next two drawers, and you might end up with the 2x12s in the last drawer. So you could have a complete set by gradiating size in several drawers and have your bins match that. So I can give you some quick tips on labeling too, if that's of interest. Something that I like is the magnetic strips that you can write on. They have a water-based marker. You can write on the tag and then you can wipe it off with water if you need to. So they're reusable and they're magnetic, so you can stick them to things. Most cabinets and drawers and things are magnetic or steel. The best thing that I would recommend is get yourself a cheap little P-Touch label maker, something that will do basic text. They're inexpensive and really easy to use. If you're doing something specific like drills, what I did, I printed out, an 8.5 by 11 drill chart that has all the sizes in order, letter, fraction, decimal, and metric. I laminated the whole sheet. I think I printed it on sticker paper. That's what I did. I laminated the sheet and then I just cut it up and stuck the labels on the bin. So this is cool because it gives you, this is drill number 5, and it gives you the inch decimal size, 205 thousandths. 205.5 thousandths. So that's really convenient. You can put the drill away based on the stamped size, or what I do is you measure it with calipers and put it away based on the thousandth size, which is really what you actually care about. So you can get creative with it. You can print stuff out and make your own labels, or you can just use a basic label maker and stick them on there yourself. So I hope that gives you some ideas, something to think about, maybe some products you can check out. But I really just want to inspire everybody to look at their organizing system and ask the question, can it be any better? And the most important one would be, how are you going to feel after implementing it and being able to use a system that you get joy and relief from instead of little bits and pieces of stress and annoyance? That's really the goal here today.